Hey everyone, ready for last week's trending AI news? Yeah, let's get started. So last week trending was Google and Duolingo expanding AI-powered language learning. Google has introduced 3 new AI experiments aimed at enhancing language learning through personalized lessons. These tools utilize the Gemini large language models to provide tailored educational content, offering a more effective and engaging practice experience. Meanwhile, Duolingo has launched 148 new language courses created with generative AI, more than doubling its previous offerings. This significant expansion was achieved in less than a year thanks to the integration of AI into its course development process. Now, as someone who studied Japanese and studied abroad in Japan, I love the idea of personalized language learning, and it's clear that Google is taking on Duolingo. Now, what I really also enjoyed was the second experiment, which allows you to sound less formal and more like a local, which is very important in studying Japanese. So I think this is definitely an experiment that we'll be trying out and we'll share with you guys through a different video. Yeah, so I think that Duolingo definitely has some competition with Google. And I think, however, that was probably the best news for them last week because they were actually trending in the wrong direction for their announcement that they were going to be cutting a lot of their jobs in place of AI. And a lot of companies kind of jumped on that by saying, hey, we would never replace our employees with AI. And then a lot of their supporters were saying that they were going to jump to their competition. So they kind of reversed course on that a bit by announcing all these different things, such as the news that they're going to have a lot more courses and that they supposedly won't replace their employees with AI. So it seems Meta has updated the privacy policy for its Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses, which is now implementing changes effective last week aimed at enhancing AI data collection. The first major changes mandates that Meta AI with camera use will be active by default, unless users disable with the hand-free Hey Meta voice command. So I feel like this is something that Meta's always trending for, and this is why a lot of people don't really trust them. Agreed. They have a lot of releases that always have some kind of security or privacy concern, and users don't feel comfortable using their products because of this. Now, I understand that Meta is going to need a lot of curated data to better improve their AI models, especially for vision. But when you're telling people that by default they have to do something to opt out of it, it's going to make people want to turn to an alternative. And I think that Meta needs to gain the trust of people so that we want to buy their products, especially these Ray-Ban Meta glasses, which do seem cool, but I still don't want to give them my information, my data. Microsoft was trending again after officially launching its long-delayed recall feature for AI-enabled Copilot PCs. Recall captures and stores screenshots of user activity locally to enable comprehensive search functionality. Despite privacy concerns and previous delays due to security criticisms, Microsoft has added safeguards such as encryption via the PC's Trusted Platform module and Windows Hello authentication, along with controls over data retention and filtering options. So here's another example of a lot of people not trusting AI, especially when it comes to security and privacy, and then Microsoft is trending for a new feature utilized by Copilot PCs. So the main issue that I have with this, and of course a lot of people, is that the person, let's say I'm using a Copilot PC, the other individual that I'm talking to has no idea that what they're sending is being recorded. Right. So it's obviously a privacy breach or security breach in their eyes because they haven't even opted in while the person using Copilot PC has. So this misunderstanding of not being able to know exactly what's going on is a major concern. So a new study published by top research labs and universities, including Stanford and MIT, alleges that LM Arena, the organization behind the popular crowdsourced AI benchmark Chatbot Arena, of helping a select group of AI companies achieve better leaderboard scores at the expense of rivals. The paper's authors started conducting their research in November of last year after learning that some AI companies were possibly given preferential access to Chatbot Arena. So it wasn't but a few weeks ago that we talked about benchmarks with respect to Meta and Llama 4's benchmarks that made it appear better than it actually performed. And now we have another story that's talking about benchmarks and how top companies are using other organizations to kind of boost themselves up in the AI arms race. So when you have these kind of things, it's not surprising to me that big companies would want to make it seem like they're just way better than the competition. But now benchmarks are going to start meaning less and less to people. Right, and Chatbot Arena is crowdsourced, so pretty much these users are voting on the best performing, AI model based on its output. So the other benchmarks, that are used by researchers. They could be peer reviewed, and researchers were easily able to tell something was up with long before. So I feel like those might still have a lot of meaning in the research community, but things like crowdsourced, not so much. All right, that's a wrap on last week's trending AI news. Please be sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest AI news. Until next week.